Welcome back, and today we're going to do an example of ACLs. So first we're going to do some recon. Yellow area with a bit mask 24, 172.16.11. Your area in the center here will be your WAN. It's a 10.10.10 with a 30-bit mask. And then your second LAN would be 172.16.50 with a 24-bit mask. Let's go in and see that we got a message here about OSPF. Show run. And so then our wildcards are here. And then you can see was playing with some ACLs here, but they're not actually on the interface. In the Denver router is where we're going to stay. Show IP routes. Show my routing table. So you can see that you see the yellow area. And then vice versa in Austin, you're going to see show IP routes. You're going to see the green area in OSPF. All right. So we have routing table, subnet routes. Now let's check our server for services. Services tab. HTTP and S is on. Turn off the HCP. Turn off the HCP6. TFTP is on by default. DNS is on because we configured it. Make sure that's the IP of the server. syslog is on. AAA should be off. NTP on. Email we configured with our domain name, our 3 users. FTP is on by default. We have a user Cisco with read, write, download, and list privileges, I believe. And then IoT will be off. So let's test services. So we'll go PCs 1 here and we'll ping the domain name, which is fireblock.biz. So this will test not only, a few things, but DNS. It'll actually do a ping, ARP, DNS. All right, so there we go. It's coming up. So we know services are running. So let's go to our ACL. We'll do this next. We'll put that in for our next test. And remember, there's 2 parts in ACL. The first part is you can put it on an interface in or out. So we're going to put it on Fast Ethernet 0. And then down here, we're going to write a list. And you can see the list continues on. And we're using numbers because it's sequential. So once we apply this, config T, we'll paste, look for errors. And then I'll do a quick do show run just to verify. Okay. Go ahead and so there it is applied to the interface. And we'll go ahead and start pinging. So that did not make the filter start happening. So this next line here, 2 lines. So IP access list extended is syntax, and then permit is the name, www. 100 is the item number, line number, and deny. IP is everything in any source to any destination. And if we apply this, all of a sudden you see the ping stop. What we're going to do now is move to the next line here, and we're going to allow pinging from any source to any destination. And then once again, as soon as I press enter, you see the replies come back up. All right, let's go to our next config. So we're going to open up port 80. So we'll copy this. Let's go into test mode. We're going to use the IP address because we had to open domain next. So we'll just stay with IP 172.16.50.254. I'm going to fast forward time. So it did time out. All right, so come over here. Let's look at our ACL. We're going to do line 20, permit TCP, any source to host, and then you do the IP, then equal port 80. I'll change this to HTTP, and you can see domain later. So let's see if this works. Copy. We got to get back into our ACL mode here. So copy this first. Then we can come back and get. Now you're in your named ACL. So if we hit go. Oh, we got an error. Didn't like HTTP. We'll do port 80. Oh, there it went. As soon as I pressed enter, your web page is working. So let's go and do 443, which would be secure web browsing. Copy. Go back to your web browser, put the S in, hit enter, and then fast forward time, and it times out. So there's our 443. We'll copy. We'll paste. And then we'll hit refresh. And then your HTTPS is working, as you can see here. What are we opening up next? Okay, so this is an interesting one. We can use 53 domain, but we also can choose TCP and UDP. So let's first start with this. So this is domain name. So let's test domain name. So this is fireblock.biz. Fast forward time. Okay. So paste, enter, press go, go. All right, so that didn't work. So what did we do? We used TCP. So let's do UDP. So now your domain's working. Another quick test would be ping it through command prompt, and it's working. So sometimes you got to open up TCP and UDP on a protocol. Next, we got email. So email is TCP, any source, the host, server, and then these two port numbers. So let's go ahead and test first. Compose. So I'm in PC1, we'll do Sue at all right, so we'll hit test. So you can see right down here, it's sending to the DNS and it resolved. Oh, we fast forward time, and then you connection timed out. So definitely did not work. So let's go now, open up port 110 and 25. One is your mailbox, one is the send receive. So let's put that in here, paste. So now if we hit send success. So let's go into simulation mode real quick and check email. Desktop mail receive. First the YARP, then the DNS, and then the email exchange. Oh, wow. All that. Look at that. Just to get TCP to work. And we're using port 110. So 110 is your send receive. No, 25 is one or the other. We'll figure it out. All right. So now we're going to do SSH. So let's test SSH by trying to hit the switch. So SSH-L admin 172.16.50.2. This is a switch. So it's going to time out. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put in, remember, TCP and UDP on port 22. Okay, so now let's go over here and try it again. Oh, I didn't configure my switch with SSH. I forgot. Did I save it? I bet you I didn't. That's what I didn't do. Oh, it's configured. Nope, no SSH isn't. All right, we'll test that in class. We'll move on to, once again, 2021 is FTP. Go into the router. So we try to do FTP 172.16.50.254. So it's going to time out. So let's copy this. Go to the router, hit paste, press enter. And all of a sudden it came up right in the middle of the session. So I'm in a server, dir. All right, I controlled C to get out. So now we have FTP working, and then the last thing would be Telnet. And we'll test those in class because we need one switch with Telnet, one switch with SSH. So to finish this up, we'll copy and paste. And then I'll show you how to test those. And what we didn't do is anytime through here, I forgot to show you, do show access lists. And then here's all my matches. So that'll conclude, and I'll see you next session.